Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mitch's Minute. I'm your host Mitch, and it's actually the Mega Minute. I always forget Mega because it's just Mega Minute. But today it's just gonna be me and Amanda. So we have a show for you today. So I'm like, man, I started that with like full steam, and then I started to die a little at the end there.
Yeah, you're just like, oh God, fuck, what else?
Oh
What
shit.
else?
That's right.
There's an intro in there somewhere, yeah.
There we go. Today we've got kind of a shorter episode of the minute today, which was more in line to its name. But I just wanted to say real quick before we get started that let's go into the channel news real quick and I can explain. I wanted to apologize to anyone who was expecting Persona 5 Thursday. We have a tendency here on the show, if we're not feeling something, we won't do it. It's just straight up. We just won't, if sometimes we feel like doing Persona 5, sometimes we feel like doing, it happens with like just some games we play when we stream. We'll just switch it out. And it's kind of my fault. It was kind of last minute, and I didn't really notify you guys about what was going on, so that was my bad. So I wanted to apologize. In terms of channel news this week, you will get both episodes of Final Fantasy VII Remake if we do not beat the game on Monday. I don't think we will. I think it'll take Friday too.
You mean Tuesday?
Tuesday and Friday. What did I say?
Monday.
All right. Yes, I might have just waken up a little bit ago. Tuesday and Friday, and on Thursday, I can't guarantee it's going to be Persona 5. I will stream something. I just don't know if it's Persona 5. So I'll get back to you on that at some point. But I don't know. I don't think I don't want to say it's going to be Persona 5 this week and then it's not Persona 5. So
yeah. No, that makes sense.
All right, let's get into today's episode. I've been watching West Wing. The 1999 or 1998 or 97. What is it? No, it's 99, I think. 99 to 2006 show. I'm watching West Wing. A couple years back, like a good explanation of it is a couple years back, if you guys remember, I watched all of Cheers and Frasier together. I comboed the two shows, each one spanning 10 years for a total of 20 years of television. As we're all stuck inside at the moment,
Right.
I wanted to I just wanted to watch something that was a little different. So this was a show that was really near and dear to my dad, and I started watching it. It's fucking solid as shit. I love this show. It's very well done. I can definitely see why this is considered one of the greatest television shows of all time. It also helps me with sniper accuracy, determine certain things about what's going on right now.
So why don't you tell us what it's about?
Okay, so as you see on the screen right now, that's pretty much the main cast of the show. But essentially, the show is about a group of people who are not going in, but they have been pretty much established as the president's staff. Most episodes, you're dealing with Leo and Josh, CJ, Sam, Toby, and Charlie and stuff, and you're dealing with those guys kind of just doing their everyday job, doing their public service job. They set up background checks on people that they're thinking about interviewing or checking in to the White House. They're making deals with people on the Hill, which on a paper it doesn't sound that interesting, right? It sounds kind of boring, but the way that everything is framed, every episode kind of has its main threads and main plots, and they do a really good job at making you care about these characters. In the first episode alone, Sam Seaborn, played by Rob Lowe in the lower left corner, the first episode, he accidentally sleeps with a call girl. And so the whole first episode is like, okay, well, shit, I have a very public image. If this could damage the president in any way, shape, or form, I'm fucked, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Josh Lyman, had said something kind of. He said something which is funny because if you think about it today, like, it doesn't make sense why he would get in trouble for it. He said something kind of like shitty to someone on TV during a debate, right? It was someone who was like in a kind of this radical Christian group, and he essentially said the phrase of like, I'm fucking blanking on it. He insulted them. He insulted them. That's pretty much the end of that. And so they want an apology because he works with the White House staff. They want an apology because he's a public figure, and so Leo McGarry, the guy in the middle, who's not in the chair, but rather not Martin Sheen, but Leo McGarry, has kind of this hard situation. He's the chief of staff. Josh is the deputy chief of staff, and Leo doesn't want to fire him, so he's going to make him apologize. And throughout this whole episode, there is this weird immediate pressure on these characters, right? But by the end of the episode, I don't want to give it away because the first episode is very solid. It's a very good episode. It's a great pilot. Pilots have a tendency to you have to fit everything that you want to get someone to watch the next episode.
Pilots can be very hit and miss, and you did show me that first episode, and it was really, really good, actually.
There's a lot of interesting things that are happening back to back, and the thing about West Wing that took me a second is how fast everything moves. People are talking quickly. People are walking and talking to different locations. The camera follows them to these different locations. And then you get this feel like that is what the show is like. That's what the show's trying to get across. That like every day is a new crisis. Every day is a new thing that they have to talk about. There's never a slow day at the White House. And,
right.
And Martin Sheen, Bartlett, or that's his last name, Josiah Bartlett. What a fucking name! What a great fictional president. This guy is intelligent. Oh my god, this guy is intelligent. He's he's very well read. Actually, to which some people in the cast will make fun of the fact that like they don't want to spend time with the president because they're like, oh no, I just don't want to hear the Latin what the Latin origins for yam is. And then in the next scene, he'll be explaining the Latin origins to yams. Or like,
God damn it!
It's funny. It's a funny setup. Josiah is for lack of a better term, the show calls him a nerd. He's very much into reading and trivia and stuff like that. And he's very honest. He's a very honest character. He treats The Office with like such a level of respect that, of course, it can't help but feel like fiction, and it is obviously. But it's such a wonderful show. It is a little frustrating to watch the show, admittedly, sometimes because of current world events.
Comparing.
It's so,
one
dude.
president to another.
Dude, okay. I feel like this would have happened no matter what. But but like, it's just one of those things where like I'll watch Josiah like give this speech, or he's like there's some episodes that end on such like this kind of dour note, but you get this idea, you get the heaviness of the position. And one of the reasons why the show is praised a lot is because they had a lot of White House, ex-White House staff as consultants on the show. So to kind of help give a sense of realism to some situations and stuff like that. And there's some episodes that are just so like gut-wrenchingly heavy, like where it ends, like the whole episode is kind of leading up to this really nice moment, like a presidential dinner or something like that. But instead, Bartlett is on the phone with a naval commander who is out in the middle of a storm. and he's just trying
Right.
to be there comforting them. You know, he doesn't take the position lightly. He's, he understands the responsibility of his position title. So it's very interesting to kind of get the perspective. And like I said before, I could definitely see why the show is one of the most was considered one of the greatest shows in all of existence. It's on Netflix. If any of you guys want to check it out,
You're like, please, someone join me in this weird paradox that I now live in.
No, I was trying to explain it to my dad. It was like, yeah, it's crazy because I'll be on my I'll be watching an episode of West Wing, and then I'll immediately check my phone, and there's a notification that says President Trump had like recommended the injection of bleach like indirectly or something like that.
Oh my god.
And then it's like, oh, like Bartlett will have just gone on it on a wonderful speech, like he ended it on such a great note, and I'm like, yeah, it's like, yeah, public, like that really feels, oh fuck, like just like look at my phone, I'm like, it's all ruined. Like it's such a high to get to such a low, and it's constant. But it is definitely a great show. Also, real quick, every actor knocking it out of the park. I have a really
only recognize like 2 of them though. If I'm gonna be honest, I only recognize.
Is it Rob Lowe and Martin Sheen?
Yeah. That's it. That's all I recognize, dude. You're like, all of these actors, solid as fuck actors. They're so fucking good at their job, and I'm like, I only know 2 of these fucking people.
I mean, that's the thing though. Like, it's very well done. But shit, I hit a fork. Oh no, I had dinner right before this.
Now you know.
Now you know I had dinner. That I eat. You know that I eat.
I think they know that you eat when you came in with 2 tangerines during fucking Final Fantasy VII.
They were mandarin oranges. Or oranges. There we go.
Oranges. I thought you said they were tangerines.
I literally corrected myself in the episode and said they were mandarin origins. Origins. Or not, damn it. Anyways.
So the Mandarin origins.
That's right, the Mandarin origins. That sounds like a Marvel movie waiting to happen.
It also sounds like a D&D fucking supplement book.
Speaking of Rob Lowe, we'll talk about
Mandalorian oranges.
Yeah, let's transition into this. So we've been me and Amanda have been watching a show, Moonbeam City. Now, if those at home, this sounds kind of familiar. I have actually talked about this show a couple years back. This show was 2016. Moonbeam City. Fuck.
It's such like a beautiful fucking show. Like animation wise, it totally screams like that 80s fucking aesthetic, and it's glorious.
Oh yeah. So if you were wondering why the guy in the back was the like thumbnail picture today, the whole reason why is because he is my favorite character in the show. Rad Cunningham is just this sloppy loser, and I love him. But he's also the rival to the main character. It's weird. Rob Lowe plays Dazzle Novak. Dazzle Novak is... The only way I can describe him is he's very cocky. He lets his libido and ego get in front of him. He's very much like Archer, season 1, I would argue, I'd argue a little less intelligent though. Like Dazzle Novak he's silly. He's supposed to be that 80s cop that, shoot first, ask questions later kind of vibe.
Yeah, if shit gets blown up or destroyed in the process, then that's just part of the job.
They do such a good job at establishing his character where Moonbeam City is riddled with crime. like there's like someone robs an old woman and then lights her on fire, turns a corner, and Dazzle Novak is waiting. And he's like, "Do you feel lucky, punk?" And he misses his shot. And he tries again and he misses again. Then they get away, and the whole episode is that person that got away became a horribly large mob boss.
Dude, you didn't even explain why he only had 2 shots. It was because he was too busy trying to shoot a dick bullet hole fucking thing into the side of a fucking truck.
So the things that matter to him, like that's the thing though. So like in the next shot, he's in Pizzazz. He's in Pizzaz's office. Who is the one on the left, and she's like the chief of police. And it's what's weird to me is that they established that like one of the things that Dazzle did was he shot the top of a glass of Chardonnay, or of a bottle of Chardonnay, which perfectly poured into these glasses, right? But he couldn't get the shots earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he only can shoot when he fucking wants to.
Nah, that's fair.
Like when he really actually gives a shit.
So the whole first episode essentially is just establishing this tone, which is Dazzle's an asshole, just straight up a dick. And his rival Rad Cunningham, which I have to say I like that every time, is played by Will Forte, by the way, who just is delivering such a solid comedic performance. So Dazzle's punishment is he gets his #1 cop cup taken away, and now Rad has it. And he says something along the lines of like, I don't know, maybe I'll plant a flower in the cup. Maybe I'll wash my mice in it. I don't know. I can do whatever. Later in the episode, while Rad's just arbitrarily watching TV, you see him like mixing like what appears to be a spoon in the cup, and it reveals that he's just pseudo waterboarding this mouse.
He's basically borderline waterboarding his own mice and using it to stir his coffee.
Like I out of just pure negligence. Oh god. Oh, Rad Cunningham is so fucking funny. Because all I keep thinking about is like the second episode where it's about the this cop show where they reenact crimes that happen, and Dazzle takes it way too far, and Rad ends up like trying to get on the show because it's his favorite show. So if anyone was confused during FF7 when I said the phrase, when I was just whining and crying about falling over, that's the bit. Fuck.
Because he lied about fucking attacking, or not attacking, but saving this fucking store clerk from these groups of fucking teens with guns. And they scared him. He ran away right into the fucking, just this display of sunglasses. Got covered in sunglasses. So now he can't see because it's in the middle of the night. Falls down an open manhole right into the river of poop.
I fell into the poop. And then I got scared and pooped in the poop. Oh, fuck. If you
Red Cunningham, man.
Oh, God. A little bit of the poop got in my mouth and I kind of liked it. I like poop in my mouth. What's wrong with me? He's like crying and his eyeliner, like whatever mascara he's wearing is smearing.
Oh yeah, so that's another thing. They all have like this weird thing going on with them where yes, all of them wear makeup, but also during the day, because right now they all look like their skin tone is just pure white. But when they go outside, the white fades halfway down their neck into like a super pale like skin tone. So I'm like, are they just painting their faces white? Are they just, is this all just makeup?
I there's so many like solid bits. There's so many like good like sometimes unfortunately it does feel like the episodes are a little slow. Just like for example, the episode we were just talking about, episode 2. When Dazzle's doing his like reenactment in the desert, because that's how that evolves. There's a moment where it gets a little slow, but then they kick you back with, all right, as we're filming this, ignore the rebel fighters. It's like, and there's like a rebellion going on in a country far away. Oh.
Oh yeah, because that's a fucking thing. Is that while this looks like it's based in like good 90s neon or not 90s 80s neon colors, everything has an 80s aesthetic, but it takes place in the future.
Uh,
So it's all very odd.
oh my god. Like there's just a lot of like solid bits. One of the ones I can think of immediately is Dazzle becomes enamored with this dolphin. And the whole episode is spent on him making a robot dolphin suit to hang out with this dolphin. They play a bad not a bad, it's like a
Cover.
so close to copyright cover of Africa called Aquatica. And then he hires a dolphin penis specialist to put a dolphin penis in the robot. Patrick Warburton is, I fucked up his last name, but he's also in this as a guest for just that episode. And it's there's the point is, if you haven't seen Moonbeam City, it's very solid. Amanda and I have only gotten through 5 episodes of it.
Yeah.
And rewatching it's been a blast.
Oh yeah. I honestly, with the whole dolphin thing, I think one of my favorite things is the dad is so like removed because he's been through so many fucking wars, so he's just totally out of it. And fucking he looks over to Chrysalis, which is the orange-haired one, and he's like, you were conceived in a submarine like this. And she's like, Dad, please don't. And Dazzle's immediately like, no, I'm super interested. How did you even manage that? It's super tight in here. And he's like, well, let me show you. I'm gonna sit over here, and now you spread eagle. And Dazzle the like entire time is like, no, show me. Fucking don't mind me. I'm super confident in my body. Just invade my personal space. Meanwhile, Chrysalis is just like, please, I hope we crash. I hope this submarine crashes so I don't have to be here any fucking more.
Chrysalis is a really solid straight man for all the comedy that happens in the show.
Oh yeah, she's really solid. I love her. She's great.
Oh man. But we're only up like 5 episodes into the show. Rewatching it has been a blast. Just remembering that this show even existed. I will say that it's unfortunate because if you haven't figured it out by now, it's only 1 season of the show. Moonbeam City only lasted 1 season on Comedy Central. It took the 10:30 slot right after South Park. Now, I actually have been watching Comedy Central for like a stupid long period of time. It's more of a tradition. Like when I did have TV, it was like it's a tradition to watch like South Park. I've been doing it forever now. For like the better part of 15 years. Good or bad, South Park. it's a tradition. And anything that was placed in the 10:30 slot never succeeds. It's always canceled. Because no one, it's either, because the way I see it is, if you were going to watch South Park, then you're going to watch South Park. But you're not going to watch the thing that happens afterwards. Because most of the time, the thing that happens afterwards is not either A, not as funny, or B, has literally nothing to do, like the two senses of humor don't coincide with one another. Moonbeam City is more akin to something like Archer, while South Park is South Park.
I think they would have done better if they were the slot right before South Park.
Oh yeah, I think they would have done better if, honestly, if it was just a Netflix show or if it was just Hulu. Like if you just had that where people could just click it, and because look, I mean, look at this image. Like it's the reason I watched the show. They promoted it with like this really interesting art style that doesn't stop being interesting. You know?
Oh no, it's gorgeous like the whole way through.
Oh
It's
god.
fucking gorgeous. If you love that fucking 80s fucking aesthetic and fucking just that 80s cop feel, it definitely
Shit.
has that. Stop
I know. Repeat what you just said so that there's a clean sound bite.
it!
And not just to be fucking knocking my fork.
Between you and Nate, like Nate constantly just bumps into his mic like he forgot where he put it.
It's not great, yeah.
I think I've had like an issue one time where I had like a thing of whiskey on my fucking desk and I accidentally knocked it over and I went, "Oh no."
I don't want to get off of Moonbeam City just yet. There's one more character I want to talk about, which is just a single appearance character, but it's the funniest shit. So in every show ever, there's always a problem. Like there's always this I'm trying to think of it. It's always this this rivalry between the fire department and the police.
Oh god.
And so they got the my favorite part about the rivalry between the police and the cops is Sizzle Conrad is a character that only appears in one episode, and he is this ridiculously buff, shirtless like firefighter who puts two hoses over his shoulder and uses it to fly around.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Uses it to fly around and Dazzle is immediately pissed whenever he sees him because all the ladies flock to him. And
quick,
his
ladies,
name-
jump into my horribly jacked arms. And then Genesis Jones, the newscaster, is just like, I don't know who to be jealous of.
I don't know who to be jealous of, him or the ladies.
Sizzle Conrad.
That's I think that's like one of my favorite parts about Moonbeam City is, honest to God, I love their stupid fucking names.
Genesis Jones is such a good name.
It's fucking okay. Genesis, Dazzle, Pizzazz, Rad, fucking like Chrysalis. Holy shit. These are such dumb fucking names, and they're so good. God, there's even a fucking character. They never say her name because it's too hard to pronounce. And she has it like written down, and they're like, well, tell me your name. How do you even say it? And she's like, I can't tell you. In my country, if a woman ever speaks her name, they cut off her elbows. It was the stupidest shit, but it's obviously this long, complicated fucking name, and I'm like, what the fuck? And fucking Rad, being the ever-perpetuant man-child he is, he's like, I got an even better singer with even bigger fucking, like, it was like, not a harp, but like chimes, and she has an even harder name to fucking pronounce. Say it, and she just,
Oh, you can't forget about fucking the mayor of Moonbeam City, who also only shows up for one fucking episode. But his name is E.O. Jackson, spelled Jaxxon.
God.
That he has two like pumas with him at all times, or the cheetahs.
Pumas. They're snow leopards.
Snow leopards. Okay, yeah. That's Mitchell knows cats. That's right.
Pumas.
The pumas.
Yes.
Right.
Two cool jaguars. I've never seen white speckled jaguars. But no, he's great because fucking Pizzazz, the chief of police, has to lie to him at one point, and he leans in and he's like, "You're not lying to me, are you, Pizzazz? My cats can smell lies, just like how I can smell beautiful feet on a woman." And she's like, "Nope."
So stupid. Oh, 5 episodes. We are 5 episodes in. We are halfway through the show. Unlike most TV shows that have 12 episodes, Moonbeam only had 10. And we looked into it. So the creator of the show, this was his one television show.
It's very sad.
He worked on Funny or Die for like 2 years. Was picked up to be a writer for, I think, a late night host or something, and then he was a writer on, like, I'm pretty sure it was a late night like thing, and then he tried to make this show, and it didn't work. The show just didn't work out. The 10:30 slot is a cursed slot. I don't know what they need to do with the slot, but they can't have shows go back to back with South Park. I've watched so many shows die, Amanda.
I know. I like, one of my favorite things is when you look up reviews for this, like, if you find like critic reviews, they're like, "Oh, it's just too ridiculous." And I'm looking at it, and then I look at Archer, and I look at the show South Park that played right before it, and I was like, too ridiculous, huh? Alright. But it has like an 85% like audience approval, because they really, like, audience seem to like it. Critics are like, it's just too ridiculous for me. I just don't believe it. Archer, however, apparently very believable.
Well, I'd argue that Archer's main strength is it's supposed to be a parody of spy films and spy shows and stuff like that. And Moonbeam City is a parody of the 80s vibe, which at the time, it was 2015, 2016. You had a lot of stuff already kind of doing the 80s vibe, so I don't know. Maybe they just didn't like Aquatica. Maybe they didn't like a fucking Razzle.
Maybe they didn't like the 7.5 fucking inch dolphin dick.
We're off by 7.5 inches. Deploy the dolphin penis. No, I don't want to do that.
I love Chrysalis so much. She's like, I don't want to. For like 99% of the fucking show, she's like, I just don't want to.
all right, Chrysalis. No matter what you hear on the other end, do not turn off that communication speaker.
And it's just him having sex. And fucking Pizzazz walks in and she's like, turn it off. Turn it off! And she's like, God damn it, turn it off! And Chrysalis finally goes, okay.
Because all you hear is Dazzle going, okay. He's just saying okay. Okay. First episode, Rad fucking shoots the glass of every door he enters to get through the other side. It's the dumbest gimmick. Oh.
God, it's so fucking good.
Wait, we might be handcuffed, but I think we can still have sex.
And he makes an excuse for not being able to reach, just like, it's not that my dick isn't big, it's just, I don't want like a dick-shaped hole in my pants. That's all. That's all.
Oh, jeez. All right.
God, I know there was one line that you really connected with when he was like in his depression and he was driving, quote unquote, his car.
Yeah, he has the car inside of a building. Like,
and he's just pretend driving so he can crack open beers.
not drink them. Not drink them, mind you. He doesn't drink the beers. He just likes to crack them open.
He likes to crack them open and look pensive. That's it. But Chrysalis walks in and fucking she's like, you can't be doing this. There's like crime to fight. And what did he say? He said something akin to, the only thing I fight is my self-confidence. And I do that with food.
Mostly
and
cheese.
Mostly cheese.
Rob Lowe delivers such, like, the way that he delivers the line so dryly is just such a solid. It's funny because in my mind, the only things I know Rob Lowe for now are West Wing, where he plays Sam Seaborn, who's this very serious script writer who has some moments of levity. His role in Parks and Rec, which is the name is escaping me right now, but he does a great job in Parks and Rec too, and Moonbeam City, and that's it. So I don't know.
It's a pretty different characters back to back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Two of his characters were public service characters. One was a fucking speechwriter, and the other one worked for I don't remember what the fuck he did in Parks and Rec. It's been too long.
Technically, Dazzle's public service, but
technically is
just a really bad one.
Oh god. Anyways, if you have not checked Moonbeam City, it is free on Comedy Central. It's also available on Amazon Prime, you said?
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime and $2 on YouTube.
So, if you haven't checked out Moonbeam City, it is such a fun bit. There's an opening bit where a group of anarchists come together and they start arguing about what the first order of business is. I think you mean disorder of business. Oh, it's so dumb.
And he's like, no, I'm in charge. And he's like, no one's in charge. We're all in charge. And he's like, that's not anarchy. That's communism. Stop it.
Oh, the fact that the firefighters are just super hot buff versions of the main cast never gets old. Oh,
I know.
Anyways, we do have, believe it or not, we actually had a main topic tonight.
I don't believe it at this point.
We did have a main topic, and that is the state of movie theaters. We actually had a main conversation topic, but unfortunately, I just don't think that there's... As when we sat down, we were like, okay, so what's the main topic tonight? And one of the things that I wanted to talk about a little bit today, because I don't want to talk too much about it. We don't have Nate here, and I think I kind of wanted his opinion too. Is there is a genuine scare for people who like to go to movies that movie theater chains might suffer horribly because of not the quarantine, believe it or not, but because of the success of one film.
God, and I can't believe what fucking film it is.
Trolls World Tour had came out on video on demand and made over $100 million over the course of 3 weeks. Now, the thing with that is a lot of people argue the reason why it was so successful is because, hey, families, let's say a family of 6, right?
Right.
4 kids, 2 adults. When they go to the movies, they're spending about $60, $70 to go to see a movie, right?
Right.
But you could get Trolls World Tour for $20. That's it. like that.
Yeah, you can get it for $20 and then watch it in the comfort of your own home. And you don't have to get dressed up. You don't have to get the kids dressed up. But it's only $20. And a lot of people ended up just going, yeah, I'd rather fucking do that.
And so, because of the success of Trolls World Tour, there is this question about, hey, do we really need the theaters? Because originally, the whole point of, for the last 100 years or so, the whole point is just movies get made, they get distributed to movie theaters who then show them, make profits, split the profits, and a portion goes back to, majority of the portion goes back to the fucking, companies and studios and stuff.
Yeah. But with this, they cut out the middleman, aka the movie theaters, and now the companies just got all the money. They just essentially pulled in a lot more than they would have if they had decided to split the profits. So a lot of them are like, do we even bother? Do we even bother with putting our shit out into movie theaters or just putting it out online?
I know for a fact that AMC, like, it's gone so tense that that AMC, one of like a big chain of theaters, is saying that they're not going to show Universal movies anymore because of what has happened. Like, because they're pushed for video on demand, they're just not going to show it when the theaters open up. The biggest fear right now with the theaters, I think, is what the fuck are they going to do once they can open up again? Like, because most of the time movies are scheduled in such a way that the release is, that there's always something going on, right? There's summer blockbusters. Then in the fall, we have like a couple movies here and there. Then there's the Thanksgiving, Christmas releases. And then, nothing happens in January and February except for like maybe the throwaway films. And then spring starts it all up again, It's been a cycle that's never been interrupted like this on a grand scale.
Oh, yeah, because even during the Great Depression, people were still taking what little money they had and going to movie theaters. And so and now we're at a weird fucking point in which, okay, so you're going to be opening back up, but you're going to be opening up almost into the fucking summertime, right? Borderline summertime.
You're going to be opening up, but you're going to be opening up when no studio has anything to give you.
Exactly. And so that giant hit you just took from being closed, guess what? You're going to be hit for a while. So I'm sure plenty of movie theaters are going to end up closing. And I don't know what they're going to do, but they might actually be cheaper for a while, if only to try to gain people back.
I know for a fact that... So here's the deal, right? I can't tell you how many times I've come onto this show and I've been like, man, I really like Shazam. I wish people didn't fucking crack jokes the whole time behind me. A couple years back, I went to go see Justice League, or not Justice League, Batman v Superman. And I was next to this sweaty fucker in the front row because all the tickets were sold out like an hour before the film was supposed to fucking be. This was supposed to... It was a whole fucking thing. I went to go see it on opening day. It was a bad idea. I had watched it at a very bad angle. I have my complaints about movie theaters. I do. I genuinely do. But I also think that, like, when this is all over, I'm going to just get one of those... Like, Tabby has one of those passes that I think Regal does. Regal Cinemas do these. And I'm going to get one of those passes, and I'm just going to fucking see whatever film I want to see. Like, even if it's just arbitrary and dumb. Like, I'm going to go see movies because I miss it. I miss going to a theater, sitting down, and being forced to watch something. I cannot tell you how many... Like, you want to know why I'm watching so many TV shows instead of movies right now? It's because a TV show is 40 minutes at most for me. I can sit there, I can watch the show, and I have the option of choosing whether or not to leave the show if I'm not interested. Like, I do feel like there is this thing with movies where it's like, because you're sitting in a theater, you paid for the experience, there is this almost obligation for you to finish the film, even if you're not enjoying it. But it's not but like, my attention span is so shitty sometimes that I won't even, like, I'll just straight up drop something, or I'll just be like, oh, well, I can finish this later, and then I never do. So it's definitely like a conflicting kind of feeling because I haven't had... There's only so many experiences I've had at the theater where, like, the theater experience itself made it for me. 2019's Aladdin. I saw that when I was out in California. The audience experience with that really helped kind of solidify that film, in my opinion. I still think that it's actually not bad. I still think it's pretty okay. It's pretty good. As there's also like, you know, times where like the theater experience is also it feels like like a modifier, you know, like
Right.
we play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons together. It feels like a modifier. The theater, like watching a movie in the theater, will have either a randomized positive or negative modifier added to whatever we're watching, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And so there's like when I went to go see The Joker, right? One of my favorite films of last year. I think that movie got a lot of flack even before it opened up. When it was around the award season, a lot of people changed on it because all of a sudden the flack wasn't there because holy shit, this movie's getting like nominated for awards. So a lot of people then watched it, and I watched a lot of people who didn't like the film going in because of whatever reason, all of a sudden sing its praises, which was a very frustrating process, if I'm going to be completely honest. But the reason why I'm bringing up The Joker is because when I saw that movie in theaters, people were actively walking out of the theater during the movie.
Yeah, or like Nate said, people were laughing during the movie. And moments like those definitely, I get why some people are like, I don't want to deal with people and I just want to watch it in my own home. But I also get like having the movie theater experience. There's something different about like being excited to go into the movies where it's on this huge screen and you get to watch it with your friends and fucking it's different. It's really nice
Oh
and it's a
man,
thing. Huh.
I was gonna say, imagine if we watched Moonbeam City on one of those big ass fucking
That'd
screens.
be glorious actually.
Anyways, I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh no. You gave me the opportunity to take a drink of water. Um but no, I think it is about the experience. I think one of the major reasons that people just aren't interested is A, people, which is not a thing that the movie theaters can control, and price. There's a big price difference between $70 and 20. And I think families, big families who want to go out and watch it together, especially during like the holidays, I think that specifically like changes their mind because it's like, okay, well, I have several adults with me because it's Thanksgiving or whatever, and it's like the day after, and I need something to do with my family because we can't just keep sitting in the house all day. And they're like, okay, well, we'll go watch a movie,
I
but that's easily getting like if you have a big enough family, you're easily spending $100 just to watch a movie that you may or may not like.
I remember when movie tickets used to be $5-6. Now they're about 10 a piece.
Yeah. There's a movie theater uh back in the town I used to live in, and every Tuesday it was $6 for a ticket if you were an adult. It was even cheaper if you were a kid. And that specifically is something I think will help that particular movie theater is if they just change their prices to reflect something similar. Because a lot of people went to that fucking theater specifically on Tuesdays, a weird ass fucking night to go to the movies because it was so cheap.
I'm not sure if they have them out in California, but we have a couple of dollar theaters up north where you literally go to the movie for like $1.
No, I haven't seen any of them like that. I've seen like luxury experience movie theaters, but I haven't seen like cheap movie theaters.
Essentially, what it was, and there's a couple of them in northern Ohio. You have a couple of theaters that essentially they're like Cinemarks or something like that, where they're in areas that are like behind all sorts of other stuff. They're still nice theaters, mind you, but they're not like built up the way that like let's say Regal does it sometimes, right? But like they have essentially what it boils down to is when movies get done in their rotations at the regular theater, they will then throw them to the dollar theaters, and the dollar theaters will then play them for a couple weeks or a couple, however long. Sometimes it's for months. I remember going one time when the original Avengers came out, and that movie was there for almost a whole year. Same thing with Black Panther. Like, because what people will do is they'll still go see Black Panther for $1 if they really love it, If you like, they'll still go see Avengers every week. Like, I know people who would like, because my dad kind of not to talk a little bit about this, but like, my dad always talks about how like when the original Star Wars came out, he saw it like 25 times in theaters, right? Every other week he'd go see it. Because there was for them at that time, there wasn't a way to watch it again, My dad has a lot of the dialogue of the first movie just memorized because he saw it so many times. And for a lot of people like that I used to talk to and that I used to work with, they would go see a movie multiple times at that dollar theater just because they could.
I think ironically, I think some of the more luxury movie theaters will do okay when it opens back up. Ironically, I think like super cheap ones and super expensive ones will be okay because the luxury ones I've seen are like, yeah, so we set you up with big comfy chairs. There's a table in between them. We'll cook you something. We give you a menu. You choose what the fuck you want. We'll bring it out to you while you're watching the movie. And here's some beer or wine or whatever the fuck you want. And now, like, just recline and watch the movie. I think the fact that it's like a weird combination of like both restaurant and movie theater would actually help them.
There's a place just down the street. Not down the street, but like me and Josh went to go see Zombieland Double Tap at a theater like that. And when he came to visit last year, that's the thing. Like, I know that there's problems with movie theaters. I know that there's annoying people who sit behind me who will shitty teenagers who crack jokes. I know that there's always that problem, but I do enjoy the experience. Like, there are positives to watching a movie in a theater. And I don't want to see that go away. I do feel like there are some films that I can watch just in my own home, but I don't want to.
Like, that's the thing. I'm sure that movie theaters aren't going to die. I'm almost 100% sure. Because there's still people like you who are like, no, I want to go out. I want to experience the movie in a theater. And I want, like, there's still plenty of people like that. But what I'm pretty sure of is that smaller mom and pop shop movie theaters and movie theaters that weren't doing well to begin with aren't going to make it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more than sure that they're just not going to survive. Because this hit hard, and it's going to still hit hard.
One of my favorite movie theaters is up in Akron. It's oh my god, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, what's one of my favorite movie theaters? I can't fucking remember the name of it right now. And it's you've been there. It has an entrance. You pay the $5 to get in. Yeah. There's a concessions bar that literally serves alcohol, food, and drink. You go into an okay, we fucked up. We didn't show up on time, and it was incredibly dark in the theater. Like, ridiculously unnecessarily dark in that theater.
Yeah, they didn't have like any light strips or like low lights at all. Because we were waiting for pizza. And we had to like stumble in. And I was literally like shuffling because I'm like, I don't know where the stairs are. I don't know where I'm gonna drop everything. Where's the stairs? So like, while it is a cute little theater, I'm sure issues like that might kill it.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt in my when I go back up north, and if that thing is still open, I will go there just to celebrate the fact that it's there. But it's there's a chance that after all these years it's going to close down, and it's really sad. Honestly, it's really sad because I miss or I am going to miss these smaller theaters that like there was this one that I went to that was just like it had literally one screen. It was super small, but like it was treated nicely. You know, that's the thing. There are some things that I'm gonna miss. Drive-ins is a big one. I'm worried that the drive-in, like they were already struggling. This is gonna kill some things, and that's the sad truth of the matter. This whole thing we're experiencing together as the world, this quarantine is gonna destroy a lot of things that it's gonna suck. We're not this is gonna change a lot, I think, at the end of the day. But I do hope that that will come out stronger at the end of this, that like, you know, that there will be, if movie theaters go out, they go out, and I think you're right. They aren't gonna specifically go out, but there are a lot of these smaller ones that I do enjoy that are gonna go. So that being said, that's the end of today's episode, everyone. What a great what an upbeat note to end it on.
I know. Christ.
It's kind of hard, you know. It's kind of hard to not face that reality, you know, that there will be changes, there will be a difference at the end of this. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching another episode of the podcast. We have I know some of you guys have been talking a little bit about how you want to hear what the other half of our Persona game idea, and you know what's funny? Like we planned to do all that, and then all this shit started happening, and it happened real quick, and then we just kind of got caught up with stuff. So I'm gonna see if I can work on that. Like maybe not next week, but like maybe we can figure that out. What's funny is I'm actually preparing for a D&D campaign that I have to write everything down for, because you know, we've been playing together for me, you, Nate, and like next gen. We've been playing D&D together forever, but we've never written down the rules. It's always been like spoken what the rules are.
Oh yeah, we'll just talk it out and be like, "Are these the agreed rules?" All right, let's go.
So now I have to write everything down because new people might be playing. So that's the thing. But guys, I hope you all take it easy as per usual. You know, like I know this is a rough time. We have some shows lined up for you to help kind of alleviate some of this stress we're all under. So we will be back on Tuesday to play more Final Fantasy VII Remake. On Thursday, I don't know what's going on, guys. I apologize. I cannot tell you what's going on. I don't know what's happening. But we will come back with something. Something will be done. So that's the important thing. But we'll catch you all next time.
Yeah, catch you next time.